Ah! Yes, it does. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Welcome back to the Primetime pregame show. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but here we are on a Sunday morning/afternoon. It is 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just, first, before I even get started, I hope you all had a amazing Thanksgiving. Hope you all had some good food. Hope you all saw the family. Maybe you all played some games, some backyard football. Hung out, had a good time. I know I certainly did. I had enjoyed my Thanksgiving illustriously, although I did feel like Lightning McQueen when I could only down one. Well, I did feel like I was fading there. That being said, it was a luxurious Thanksgiving football game slate, along with a shocking result of a Black Friday game between the Eagles and the Bears. We're going to get into all that, and when we're going to be talking about the games that are coming up, kicking off in less than, hour and a half? We got an hour and a half before those games are kicking off, so I'll be excited for that. I'm going to be going through all of them. I think this is going to be a little different the way we normally do a pregame show. I'm just going to roll with this, see if it works, and go from there. But we have a lot of stuff to get into today. I mean, we got Bills-Steelers today. That one's going to be a big one. Rams-Panthers is a little intriguing to me overall. I kind of like that, but a huge opportunity for my Pittsburgh Steelers to take the lead in the division, even though they probably won't because they never do. Shedeur Sanders is getting another opportunity against the San Francisco 49ers. No, Jay. Hey, come on. You're capping. My mic's working. What do you mean? My mic's on, Jay. Jay, you're capping. There's no way. Are you serious? No way. I don't believe that. Hold on. Hello? Jay, there's no way. How am I muted? What? Dog, come on! That's not possible. Hold on. What? How? I don't actually wouldn't know how to fix this. It says it's on. Okay, thank God. I was gonna say, I was like, it was working for me before. Like, I could see the mic going back and forth. So I was like, okay, I should be live. Well, first off, let me get some credit for Jay. Jay, thanks for popping out at a. Oh shoot! Now my soundboard's not working. What? No, nope, no. Not okay. Not okay things. Okay, I guess it's because it is working for me. I was muting my own freaking my own headphones weren't even on. Okay, now I can hear it because I should be able to go like this. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was a little embarrassing. Okay, but regardless, we're back. Jay, I hope your Thanksgiving was amazing. I know mine was. I don't know. I felt like McQueen, man. I could only down one plate. It was a big plate. I could only down one, and I'm usually down at least 2.5. So, it was I had a great time for Thanksgiving. I know I got to go see my cousins down in Long Island, so that was very exciting to see overall. And yeah, I mean, just overall, I had a good time going traveling down the line. Holiday break messes you up. I get it. It really does, man. Like getting there to Thanksgiving, like the entire day was just travel. The entire Thanksgiving day was just travel. It was kind of ridiculous. But I got to get back in the saddle. That's the big key thing here. I got to get back in the saddle. And you know what? The other thing that didn't disappoint on Thanksgiving was Thanksgiving football games. I got to watch the Ravens and the Chiefs lose. I got to watch Dontavian Wicks masterclass. And I got to watch the Eagles get beaten down by the Bears. I enjoyed all those games. Games were all amazing. So I'm happy about that. I'll be getting into talking about those as well as where I think teams. I think for this, like I'm going to still do like a tier list style for this, but I think I'm going to be doing where I would rank teams in terms of being contenders at this point in the year because we're starting to get into that time. We got a month left to go. Which teams are legitimate and which teams aren't? It's time we find out. It's time Philip use the knowledge of which teams are actually good and which teams are not. I think it has to be done. It just has to be done. and we're about to get into it. Like that's the reality. The biggest thing I saw from the Thanksgiving games, I'll be going through each one individually, but I did feel that a lot of exposure. I felt a lot of teams, like maybe not exposure per se, but teams just did not play to what I thought their standard would be. Like Trent McDuffie was burnt toast against CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens all day. Baltimore somehow let the worst defense in the NFL force 5 turnovers. Detroit, after losing Amon-Ra St. Brown, doesn't feel like a legitimate playoff team right now remotely. And, I mean, Philadelphia the last 2 weeks has been, an emotional roller coaster. So, should be exciting to get into and discussing that. I'm going to get us kickstarted with the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, which was, overall, I'll start with Green Bay in their sense, what I saw from Green Bay and what I liked and what I didn't like. Jordan Love, it's Toyota-thon. It's Toyota-thon Jordan Love time. What I saw from him on Thanksgiving was what I was expecting from him the whole year. I was honestly expecting like MVP level performances each week. Hasn't quite been that. Maybe it's because just the talent level at the receiver positions was as lacking as it was. But the reality is, like with guys like Dontavian Wicks, he's stepping up into a big role. Basically made a huge fourth down after fourth down. Dontavian Wicks was the go-to guy. That may be a sign of things to come for Dontavian Wicks enjoyers. I know there are a bunch. Every time I'm in comment sections on any NFL post, I see the Dontavian Wicks worshiper. So that was a huge game for him. And I think it's something that Green Bay's been lacking pretty much all season, especially after Tucker Kraft went down. I think that's a huge loss for them in general. I think they are more of a run-first team, but without that key guy to go to on those clutch critical downs, that has had an impact on them. I think it's had an impact on them in pretty much all their major losses. And if Dontavian Wicks can be that guy the rest of the year, that'd be kind of nuts. I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's kind of more of a one-off than anything else. But Green Bay, they went into Detroit and they showed up. Now, is the game different if Amon-Ra St. Brown plays the whole time? Maybe. But I think what you've seen from Green Bay and what you've seen from this defense and being able to get off the field in critical situations been impressive. And also, like, there was a critical really bad drop, I would say, by Jameson Williams on that fourth down. That also has a big difference in the game if he catches that. Or I personally would have just kicked the field. I would have kicked it and just gotten it to a one-score game. That's just me, but Dan Campbell's going to go for it on fourth down. And speaking of Detroit, good Lord, man. It's not looking good for the Lions. With where they are in the division, right now, it doesn't look good. Because, number one, they're third in that division. They play the red-hot Dallas Cowboys on Thursday next week. And to top it all off, you're down your best pass catcher, and you're also down Sam Laporta. They were out Sam Laporta in this game. I mean, it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs or nothing because I like Jameson Williams. I think the Packers game was a great example. He can be explosive, but he's not consistent on those big downs. Like a huge drop on a fourth down, Amon-Ra catches that 100 times out of 100. That's what I'd be expecting. So I think it definitely will have an impact on them moving forward, and you're going to need to put up points against Dallas, who has been a red-hot offense. Without your best pass catcher, Detroit might be dead in the water, in my opinion. I think if they lose next week, I think it could arguably be lights. Like right now, I mean, at best, Detroit's like maybe getting into the wild card, right? And then even with Green Bay, I think for now, if Jordan Love can continue to play the way he's playing, they're definitely contenders. But I haven't seen it all year until just now, right? So that's where the issue starts to come in is, okay, how do we continue to provide Jordan Love with these sort of performances? Can he continue to do it moving forward? Micah Parsons has been a huge addition to the defense as well. Evan Williams has been an underrated safety for them. Like they've been better as they've gone defensively, but I would need Jordan Love to continue to be that guy moving forward. I don't know. As long as Toyota-thon is on, we'll see if Jordan Love's able to continue doing it. but we'll find out soon enough. But I will say, and the interesting thing to me is, I mean, if I were to do, this isn't what this is. This is more of like where I see teams right now. But the interesting dynamic, I think the dynamics of who the best quarterbacks are in the league have definitely changed. I think Goff has probably fallen down that list. I think Love has probably stayed about the same. What I'm looking at from quarterback wise, but for Detroit, this is not okay. And I think it's shown cracks in Dan Campbell's coaching ability. Because when he starts losing these talented players, how is he going to rally against Dallas? I think that's a real question. Is this team going to be able to rally and try to get a win against the Dallas Cowboys? I don't know. I'm uncertain, especially without their best pass catcher. We'll have to see, though. I would right now, if these two, if Detroit can somehow sneak in, they're not a good spot, though, considering that Green Bay holds one of those wild card spots, Seattle holds another, and San Francisco holds the third. So, and those are all teams that right now, today, I think beat the Detroit Lions. I think are just better right now, especially if Amon-Ra St. Brown's not playing. It's not good. And also unrelated, but also related. I don't know if you saw the guy who there was a security guard apparently who was yo. Kind of like one of the Packers players offer him turkey, and he's looking like this. And I was he's just eating turkey. Apparently, that guy got fired, which is crazy. This is he was that's messed up. I mean, I get you're not supposed to fraternize and talk with the players, but man, they just booed him up and sent him out of there. For just eating some turkey on Thanksgiving. That's crazy. Can you imagine that? Dude was probably gonna go home for Thanksgiving and spend it with his family, and then a couple days later he's yeah, I got fired for eating turkey. That's nuts. That's so messed up. Could you imagine that though? A guy on the football team actively is offering you food, and he just yeah, I'm not gonna, he just takes it, boom, fired. I'd be so pissed. I'd be so bad. If that's true, that's terrible. I'm gonna have to file I'll get that guy's job. We'll have to rally, we'll sign something. Next on the docket, the happiest result for I know a lot of NFL fans. Dallas Cowboys at home. I mean, I would have never thought listen, this was probably a hate watch for pretty much everybody. I think a lot of people would have been fine if both of these lost, but Dallas Cowboys, they are red hot, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs in a span of 5 days. That is what everyone is talking about. And listen, I mean, hats off to Dallas. They carved up the Kansas City Chiefs. Trent McDuffie was brutalized the entirety of the game by CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. After the first turnover, really, I mean, they turned over early in the first quarter on the first drive, and then after that, it felt all Dallas, at least offensively. Kansas City couldn't stop them. They couldn't generate consistent pressures. I mean, Kansas City it was an interesting thing, too, is that it felt like the Chiefs were in control of this game at certain points, too, and yet still Dallas was able to wriggle control back. Dak threw that touchdown pass to Javonte Williams, and Kansas City was never really able to fully rebound and capitalize and get back into the game. I mean, Mahomes still made some very impressive throws, but wow, Kansas City is now 6-6 with I'm not going to say that they're guaranteed out of the playoffs because they'll get to match up against the Chargers. The rest of their schedule is fairly lenient. I mean, I know they play Denver again, but they'll get Denver at home. They'll get the Chargers at home. They play the Raiders again. I don't think Kansas City is just done after this game. That's what Romo was saying on the broadcast. I don't think that's the case at all. But when we're looking at from that perspective, they just don't feel like a team that anybody fears right now. Nobody is afraid of Kansas City in the ways that they used to. And as for, say, Dallas Cowboys, Philly better watch out, because if they'd won against Chicago, then we wouldn't really need to have this conversation. But now all of a sudden, this is a conversation. The NFC East is far from over with the way Dallas is playing. I mean, Dallas has beat two teams, one that has 8 wins on the year, and another team that was desperate for a win just this past Thanksgiving. So if you're watching the NFC East, it's far from over. And the interesting thing is that NFC East, that division ain't had a back-to-back winner in 20 years, I think. Dating back to like 2003, 2004, I want to say. Or maybe in 2002, 2003. But it's been a long time since there's been a repeat winner in that division. There's a very real chance that the Dallas Cowboys rally and find a way to win the division. Because, I mean, listen, the thing is with Philly is when they get like this, when they start not playing well offensively with the players they have, they could lose to anybody. Like, people say, oh, they got the Raiders and the Commanders twice. They could lose that game. I remember when they went 10-1 one year and then finished 11-6, and they lost to the pitiful Giants in that span. They were losing to everybody. So if Philadelphia will have to seriously look into getting things right, and with it being an emotional 5 days for them, we'll have to see what the NFC East ends up looking like. But man, dude, in terms of what I'm thinking, Devontae needs to say something on a stream because he gets absolutely no love for Devontae Smith. Maybe. It's weird that he doesn't get nearly as much credit in that offense, Jay. I do kind of agree. I think a lot of what's talked about is, man, A.J. Brown needs to get his touches. And then when Devontae, who I think he could be a wide receiver 1 on like at least maybe probably 8 or 9 other teams. I think when I'm looking at the Eagles and seeing, like, dude, that slant pass should be easy, right? Jalen Hurts did not play particularly well in that game. I mean, it was just brutal to watch. Like, I know everyone wants to put the blame on Kevin Patullo. There's 11 guys on the offense. It can't all just be on the OC. Like, I understand. I've had those frustrations with OCs before, but, like, dude, it can't all be on the offensive coordinator. That's my take. And I also, well, I guess I'll get into Philly in a second, but right now, I mean, in Kansas City right now, I kind of have them missing as of, well, actually, no. I think they could potentially be a wild card team. It's very hard to meet. So, for Dallas, if Dallas is going to be a playoff team, though, I feel like they need to win that division. I feel like they have no choice. I'll say, because I don't think Dallas, maybe potential wild card. That slant was a TD or as close to one if the throw was on time. Yeah. And listen, I mean, with an Eagles team, I feel like this Eagles team is never consistently about timing for the majority. I always feel like they're always a little bit off to a certain extent. But that's a touchdown. I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's something you just have to be on. Like for example, watch Dallas. If you watch Dallas with the timing with Dak to Pickens, it's on point every single time. It's not always. Sometimes like the defender makes a play. That ball's on point and the route is timed up correctly. So for Philadelphia, it is 100% a timing thing. It's bad. And listen, I also got to say this. Let me first say this. I think Philadelphia will probably be a playoff team. I'll say probably. They should be. But listen, they don't feel like a Super Bowl contender right now. They really don't. Chicago also feels in the same vein. And the reason why I say I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders is because I do think they're a little fraudulent. But despite this win, I know it's a big win, but I'll get to the Bears. For the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, I want to say this. I'm going to go full screen for this, by the way. I don't want to hear any Eagles fan ever in my life, for the rest of my days, try to put Jalen Hurts in top 5 conversation. I'm done. I'm done with it. He's not. He's not. I was having conversations with, I think Matthew Stafford's better than Jalen Hurts start of the year, and people were calling me a lunatic. People thought I was crazy for saying that. One is probably the MVP frontrunner right now, and the other looks like Alex Smith. And that's like such a big thing with him, is that, he doesn't turn the ball over. Oh, he's such a winner. Jalen Hurts is such a winner. He doesn't turn the ball over. Dude, that was Alex Smith. Alex Smith won football games in Kansas City and didn't turn the ball over. The only difference is one won a Super Bowl because his roster was stacked. It's insane to me. Oh, he's only got 2 interceptions on the year. He doesn't turn it. Stop it. Stop it with this. It's not a comparison. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it is. I mean, good Lord, folks. It's a stacked roster. It still is. Even if it's struggling right now, it's still an incredible roster. Marcus making it out. Let me give a little bang to Marcus Walton saying, let's be real, Casey hasn't been the same since Cheesaholic dropped the soap in prison. Yeah, I mean that'll make it tough. That's what they're all thinking about, that they're mourning Cheesaholic right now. It's a darn Hurts could have been top 5 if he developed arm strength and could hit routes. But he doesn't. That's the thing. This is crazy to say. I think Alex Smith is a more accurate passer, at least in his Kansas City days. In some of his San Francisco days, he was bad. But in his Kansas City days, probably more accurate on the throwing those short intermediate passes than Jalen Hurts. Which is, I mean, listen, those are things that you have to be on time with when you talk about having the talented offense that you have. I understand that Saquon's a little bit slower down in the dumps, not playing to the level that he was last year. What do you want me to do? Right? That's part of the offensive line. That's part of your ability to be able to throw the ball, to make it easier for you guys to run the ball. And remember, Saquon came off 2,000 yards, right? 2,000, nobody really has a dominant 2,000-yard rushing season the following year. It's hard to do because you had so much usage and you ran for 2,000 yards. So I will say right now, I don't think the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. Just based on the way that they're playing, they gave up. They were dominated in the run game too. That's the other thing. Chicago just ran the football down the throat with Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift. Didn't matter who was carrying the ball. They were breaking off chunk runs everywhere against that Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean that's going to hurt your offense too, because now you have less time of possession. So it's a huge issue right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. And for the most part, the Eagles the entire year, I feel like they never really put together a complete. They played maybe at most 30 minutes of a game where they played well. They've never put together a complete thrashing of it. Even when they beat the Giants by multiple scores in their building, that game was so poorly officiated that I don't even know if I could count it. The reality is right now is you don't have the ability to beat these other teams. Chicago's gonna be one of the teams you might see in the postseason. Can't stop them from rushing the football, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just not helpful. Barkley's on milk cartons and on billboards. He's been missing all season. 100%. He is just straight up disappeared. And, I mean, to be fair, this happened in New York on occasion, too. I remember his rookie year, and then the second year he just was, I think he got hurt his second year, so maybe that's a little exaggeration. But there were just moments where it's where is Saquon Barkley? Non-existent. So, I'll say right now, I kind of think it would be so funny to see Dallas win this. And also, unrelated note, Philadelphia Eagle fans, I was watching, the boos in the stadium is hilarious to me. A couple reasons. This team just won a Super Bowl, is still at 8-4 right now, and struggles against a team that is good. The Bears have 9 wins. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They are a good team. And yet, they're so irate, dude. For a team that just won. Dude, I say this as a Steelers fan. I haven't seen a playoff win in 8 years. And I don't, I'm going to tell you, I see that all the time. What you saw in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Eagles against Chicago Bears is a Steelers fan's weekly nightmare. It's going to happen this week against Buffalo. We're going to be down. It's going to be a winnable game by half. That's my guess, is that the game is going to be somehow winnable by half. It'll be a reasonable score. And yet our offense just doesn't do anything. DK Metcalf is treated I don't even know. Like, I don't even have a reasonable comp. Like, looking like they're treating him like Kelvin Benjamin out there. That's probably the best comp I can give. That's what he's looking like right now. Okay? It's not good. It's bad. It's atrocious. It's nightmarish. It's nightmare fuel. Ugh! Marcus, the booze on check down, place out third down and beat down. Dude, it's it's so crazy to me. The idea that an Eagles fans have just won a Super Bowl and are freaking out over a regular season loss to a 9-win football team is diabolical. It's crazy. It's insane. Like, it's such a bothersome fan base. It's one of my least favorite fan bases in all of sports. It just is, because this is who they are. This is how they are all the time. There is no logic to what an Eagles fan does. It's just this. And Jalen Hurts got to be in the box of shame, because, dude, that was terrible. That was nightmarish to be having going on there. It's like, what do we? How were you in top 5 conversations? How were you you won a? Joe Flacco wasn't even in top 5 conversation when he won a Super Bowl. Like, it's just not how it works. Stop it. You sound heinous if you're gonna be talking like that. DK Metcalf treated like Bill Cosby. Yeah, it's like, how are you gonna bring in DK Metcalf and pay and give him an entirely new contract and then just decide, guys, Connor Hayward's the guy. Let's get Connor Hayward. Like, I'm okay with Darnell Washington getting so many targets because Darnell Washington's just a freak. But, like, why does it feel like Ben Skoranek is more involved in the offense than DK Metcalf at times? Just, what? Why? For what reason? I don't know. Pivoting from Pennsylvania football, I gotta pivot to Chicago, because I will say this. I think Chicago's win was very impressive. It was a very impressive win for the Chicago Bears. However, they have a lot going for them that is very fluctuating, right? It can change from any given moment in time. Like, they're dominating turnover differential, but turnover differential is just very inconsistent, right? Like, it's crazy to me, the inconsistencies of having the turnover difference. Like, it's not going to stay the same week to week for Chicago. The other thing is, watching the Philadelphia game, and you can even look at the numbers too, Caleb Williams was not the headline of this game. He was not. The headline of this game was Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift taking it to guys like Jalen Carter on that D-line. I think the interesting thing for the Bears is that they're fraudulent, but they also haven't peaked, right? And I don't know if they'll peak in the playoffs. There's a really good chance. But I think when we talk where they can go from here, to think where Chicago could be at this position next year and potentially be even better, because I think Caleb he's playing better, but I still think there's so much meat being left on the bone for him that I think that if he can get more of those opportunities, oh my gosh, Chicago could be very scary come 2020. I don't know if they're scary enough right now, and they could maybe it ends up being like a Commanders one season kind of thing, but it'll be interesting to see where Caleb Williams continues to progress, because I don't think he's top 10 yet. But I think he's definitely made a leap to being significantly better, and I think there's going to be opportunity for him to continue to elevate his play and put Chicago in an even better spot. So I think the Bears, for the first time maybe ever, are exciting offensively. This is more exciting than Matt Forte and Brandon Marshall and Johnny Knox. It's and Martellus Bennett and Jay Cutler and Jeremy Langford. This is good. This is good stuff for Chicago. They said, married to an Eagles fan or whole family Eagles fans. I gotta say, eating dry leftovers, hearing them complain about the Eagles was so satisfying. I tell you, man, there is something about listening to those fans whining complain. There's something about it. It's just because I have an Eagles fan who I know out in Rochester. We watched. What did we watch? It was during their collapse season. We watched them play Seattle, and I think it was Drew Lock. It wasn't Geno. I think it was Drew Lock playing. And oh my gosh, it was like JSN pulled, I think it was JSN pulled in like a one-handed catch. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was like, dude, watch this big play right here. And then he reeled in a one-hander. It was like us freaking out. And he was so agitated. He was so annoyed. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, but that's life. That's life. That's life, buddy. Oh, that run game ate the Eagles' defensive front the whole game, 100%. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, I remember I had someone ask, who should I start? And I joked and I said, you know who you're starting? Travis Homer. And it didn't matter who you started, Monangai or Swift. They both carried the load. That was an impressive day for the Bears. And it's really what Ben Johnson is. It's even what Ben Johnson was in Detroit. Like, it's very similar to, I don't think Swift and Monangai are necessarily better than Gibbs and Montgomery, but it's very similar. You've got like a bruiser in Monangai, and then you've got the speedy back Swift. It's very similar to he's building what he built in Detroit, and he's done it already like midway through a season. Like, it's very impressive. Got to give credit to Ben Johnson for rebuilding Chicago and ripping his shirt off after the big win. That was get free wieners for everybody. We need get more free wieners. And then finally, we had probably, in my opinion, the most shocking outcome of Thanksgiving. What happened to Baltimore? Like, I gotta know what happened. So said you wanted Saquon. Well, I'll show you. Yeah, you want Saquon Barkley? I'll give you a little Saquon. Watch me run. I gotta say, when I watched Baltimore, and man, what was that? How are you at home? I understand Joe Burrow being back is like maybe has an effect on it, but like, guys, that Bengals defense is so atrocious. And Baltimore was turning it over and turning it over and turning it over. Like, what? How? Mason Rudolph was moving the ball against the Cincinnati Bengals. Justin Fields and the Jets were moving the ball in Cincinnati. And Baltimore, this is what you do? At home? In prime time? Dropping this game was, ridiculous. Especially in the fashion that they dropped it. This Bengals team has so little to play for right now and is currently, 4-8? And somehow, unbelievably still have a shot at making the playoffs, which is insane. But for Baltimore to lose this game, what? Why? How? I cannot overstate that it was an unbelievable loss. This Cincinnati Bengals team hadn't won since Thursday Night Football against Pittsburgh. And yet, here we are, talking about how Lamar's been terrible the entirety of November. And the other thing I don't understand, this happened when they played the Lions earlier this year too. Derrick Henry, big run early in the game. Barely gets the ball the rest of the game. Why? I thought the whole point was this team is a defense-first team. We're going to maintain possession by just running Derrick Henry down your throat. They never did that. They just went away from it entirely. Like, you're a running team. Baltimore is a run-first team. How are you going to deviate away from Derrick Henry? Why? Why are you going to deviate away from Derrick? What's the point? You don't have a pass catcher on there that's worth even throwing to outside of maybe Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. And I'm taking Derrick Henry over both those guys to get the ball on any third down play. It's nuts to me. And Cincinnati didn't play even. I don't think they played particularly well on offense. They missed a lot of opportunities in the red zone. Baltimore's defense kept them out, and yet 34-12 loss. How? Why? Hilariously, yeah, sure. I'm happy Baltimore loses, but I just don't get how it happened. Baltimore's like that girl you met online. You think she looks good, but once you meet her, you find out it's all. It's so odd because again, I understand they had a very kind of cupcake schedule after like their 1-5 start to get here. But like this, I thought this was part of it. I thought this game would have been part of that cupcake schedule because Cincinnati just has nothing going for them. And then this? Come on, let's figure this out. What are we doing? It just, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. Like right now, like if we're talking like Baltimore, like Buster. I mean, maybe you're a potential playoff team, but honestly, like these guys are missing. Like I think I should put just Pittsburgh in here. I should get the entire AFC North just missing the playoffs, even though I know that's not possible. But like my goodness, it's just not okay. It ain't okay. I'll tell you what. But maybe with Joe Flacco, maybe with Joe Burrow back, maybe something changes. They're actually able to string together wins. But I got to be honest, I don't see. Maybe the defense figured it out somehow magically. But I'm going to be honest, it feels more of like a one-off of just Baltimore being complete poopy buns than anything else. That would be my argument for that. But that was Thanksgiving. That was Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Those were all the games. I mean, I just don't have answers. Like it's one of the few times I don't know how Baltimore ends up in this position. Like because normally, and maybe Cincinnati was embarrassed because last year Baltimore did whatever they wanted. But like, come on, this defense has been awful all year. Their best defense performance comes against you. Yeah, Like that's not okay. That's not okay to have happen. Like watching the bad news Bears win with that Cincy Burrow comes back, leads them in the fire. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I also like think about that Bears game. Just think about when they played the Bears this year. Like Bears scored 47. And like, I'm not saying the Bears are like a bad offense. They've been pretty decent this year. But you have like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, a very good offensive line, and your logic is, yeah, where's defense? No, we don't want to win this game. We want to keep the division close. Like, man, it's ridiculous. Like, it's unreal. It makes no sense at all. I mean, it doesn't matter so much because I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh's going to lose to Buffalo this week. But you know, maybe somehow because of I know the Bills are missing a lot of their tackles, so maybe back day again. What Houston? There are other games today. I got to talk about them. So I'm going to switch gears off of Thanksgiving. I'm going to get into games this week. I'm going to start with, I think, the interesting 1 o'clock headliner. Shedeur Sanders is getting start number 2 against the San Francisco 49ers. I believe this will be his first home start. And I got to tell you, I saw this, and it kind of bums me out a little. But I've seen the influence that Shedeur Sanders has already had at even just starting one game in Cleveland. I mean, you've got kids with like the wristwatch, like flexing the legendary wristwatch. I mean, think about like remember when AI had like I saw like a comparison of like when AI had kids getting the dreads and the AI jersey, and now it's the Shedeur Sanders wrist. I mean, it's a crazy amount of influence for Shedeur to have, who I think is. I mean, it's fascinating because I think the conversations about Shedeur are just very much you either absolutely hate him or you're like, come on, give him a chance. The way I see it is that, yeah, I kind of don't like his personality and the way he's going, but, dude, he's a rookie. Like, the idea that his performance is any different, like, it could have been any quarterback. That's just what a rookie looks like. Playing that way against the Raiders, yeah, that's kind of what a rookie's going to look like, and I think he's going to look like a rookie against San Francisco. Because I know what Robert Saleh is capable of as a defensive coordinator. Brock Purdy needs to play much better, which might be difficult against that Cleveland Browns defense and Myles Garrett, but you've got Myles Garrett chasing the sack record, so there is that, which, you know, Myles Garrett having like a career year is just insane for a guy who's already had so many great seasons. Oh, let me get in the comments here. Marcus said, I just seen the foosball. My man got that Nickelodeon sitcom Kids Bedroom. It's fun. I got a little, dude. I can imagine it too. Like it's a little sitcom bedroom, like a little Drake and Josh setup. How much did tickets go up for the first home start? Let's see. Browns. Let's see what Browns 49ers tickets. I have no idea, but I got to imagine that they are not cheap. Let me buy one right now and get out there. I don't know. Lowest price. This is the lowest price this week. This is on StubHub. Yep. What? Oh, okay. You can. Man, you can apparently get tickets for $8. Like, I mean, if you want to get them lower, they're obviously gonna be expensive. But my gosh, 35, 25. What the heck? Are you serious? No way. There's a seat for $32 right now. Buy for $32 and be like pretty close to the Brown sideline. I mean, I get it. I guess it's Cleveland. I guess Cleveland. Not everyone's super excited to go watch the Browns, but yeah, maybe not. I guess it's not crazy, but I think it would have been crazier for his first start in Vegas. I think that may have brought more revenue than this. It's not. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know what people are paying for this game because it is like 49ers fans probably have more incentive. Like it's 400. Okay, to sit on like the 49ers visiting side, it's like $435. Like to be close there, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm surprised it wasn't more because I imagine Cleveland fans would want to see Shedeur starting his first start, whether he's good or not. I feel like that's just a polarizing thing that people want to see. Listen, I'll say this. The reality is Shedeur's a rookie, right? Like, any headline about him is going to be polarizing no matter what, whether he plays well, whether he plays poorly, whether he plays mediocre. He's a rookie. It is what it is. If he plays well and it's exciting and people want to build around him, that's fine. I personally would say I wouldn't want to build around him, and the main reason comes back to I think he's too polarizing. I think at a certain point, there's a point of, like, you need to be talented enough to where your talent level exceeds how polarizing. Right? Like, Cam Newton was polarizing, but he was incredibly talented. When he came into the league, there were character issues with Cam. But he went number one because his talent outweighed the possibility of what he could do outweighed his character, right? His character issues. Whereas Shedeur, the understanding is it must have gotten to a point where his character issues were so much ahead of his talent that teams didn't see it as worth it. So that's the reason why. And I think the reality is, listen, Shedeur has talent, and it's certainly there, but at a certain point, does it get to a point where the other thing that's important is that if he starts winning, if the Cleveland Browns start winning football games, none of this matters. None of it matters, because once you start winning, it completely changes it. But if you're losing and that player is so polarizing, that becomes almost bigger than the actual team itself. And as a result, it just becomes a whirlwind, it becomes this tornado that you're never going to catch, especially if you're a bad organization like you end up in this position. So that would be the issue for me there. As of right now, I mean, listen, right now, Cleveland, they're young and intriguing. That's it. And that's mostly because they have Shedeur. I think they could be young and intriguing next year, depending on what we want to see from him. I mean, you almost want to see him fail, not for any other reason, but the fact that he's so cocky. Yeah, I agree, Jay. I think I don't know. I want good quarterback play. That's me, right? I want the NFL to have good quarterback play. And the better the quarterback play, I think the more watchable the NFL is. However, if you have a guy who is basically, a me-first kind of guy, doesn't really see anything else in terms of what, if he doesn't put the team ahead of first. Like, for example, Eli Manning for the Giants. Eli was the type of guy who would, like, people want to say, compare that situation to this, but I think it's a completely different thing with Eli. Because even with what Eli did on the field, anytime the Giants won, he'd give credit everywhere. He'd give credit to the offensive line, the receivers, the defense. When the Giants lose, whether it was his fault or not, he's taking the blame and the accountability. So I think that is something that people don't see Shedeur able to do, and that's why he slid so far, and it's why they didn't want him starting. It's why a lot of teams didn't draft him. For that reason of, is this a guy who's going to be able to hold himself accountable? Maybe. What's he going to do? Is he going to because remember when Zach Wilson had that issue too. Zach Wilson had that same problem where he didn't understand that he needed to take accountability because he had struggled. He was not playing well. The defense had, and he didn't take accountability. So I think that's a big thing that I think does matter, especially if you're going to be the quarterback of. Get those New Jersey teams up in the number one pick. Attention, no discussion. Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. That's what. Well, I think the difference is I think the Giants could at least be young and intriguing, right? Like they're in a certain sense where they are young and have a lot of good players, but they definitely are up there, especially when you're thinking that that they're not fully healthy. They've already been eliminated from playoffs. It's not looking great for those Jersey squads. Mark is asking, do you think it was that, or was it the Dion factor? Rumors where he was heavy in draft talk. I think Dion definitely had an influence. I think because remember, when Dion came out, the way he approached the draft was very different in comparison to anyone else. Because he would come in, he basically, I think it was Giants, maybe? He had interviewed with the team, and they said, "Hey, we're interested in drafting you." He's like, "What's your draft?" Like, he got to a point where he asked him, "What's your draft pick? Where are you drafting?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll be gone before then." Like, Dion had this way of approaching the draft where he was this big character. And I feel like at corner, that's okay. Because we've seen that a lot with corner. Jalen Ramsey's an example. Sherman, a big kind of trash talker. Dion himself, of course. Like, guys have higher level, kind of in-your-face sort of cornerback mentality. And like, not even, that's just, forget just guys that were good. I mean, Eli Apple was a high draft pick and had that kind of attitude, right? It's more acceptable with the cornerback because the cornerback's not usually leading the team. Especially because a lot of the time, you've seen corners just basically play one-on-one with this guy. I'll play one-on-one, cover this guy, you guys take the other 10. That's something that that a lot of corners have done, right? And I'm not saying every corner is that, but that kind of mentality works for a corner because you can kind of have a feisty guy like that. Whereas the quarterback, there's a certain level of, like, you can have that. Like, I think Phillip Rivers was a little bit of a trash talker, right? But he's not he wasn't, he was just a trash talker. But he was he kept it PG. If you go back and listen to Rivers clips, he was always PG with him. He's got 9 kids. He's got a full offense of NFL of kids, right? So I think that's where the difference aligns. There's a certain level of, there's that maturity, but I do kind of can see where Dion may have had an influence where there is playing this up to be as big as it is. I could definitely see that being the case. I know, because that was what happened to Shiloh. Like, when Shiloh went undrafted, and nobody really expected him to get drafted, but he went undrafted and then kind of cut off his dad from having that influence. I think that's kind of the deal, is that at a certain point, there are guys who have gone through the system and are saying, well, I understand how it works. I don't think Dion fully understands how all that stuff works. I think he has some ideas that do align with the way draft works, with the way free agency works and all this. But I think to say, oh, I'm in this position, I know everything, that's kind of what it feels like at times with him. That's just not realistic. I think that's where teams sort of pull away from the idea that, okay, Dion doesn't know what he's... Dion, relax. I don't think you fully know what's going on here. I don't think you fully understand what you're talking about. It's that you can't have that mentality for every position. Like corners, you can have that. Wide receivers, you can have that. With quarterbacks, that is not the kind of mentality you want your quarterback to have coming into. That's... I think it's still there. Like, people are saying, oh, he's learned. I don't think that's entirely true. Not to say that he couldn't have learned, but there is a certain level of... there's a certain level where Shedeur still has to mature significantly more. Yeah, reliable, frankly. Jay, Eli Apple gives me nightmares as a Giants fan. Dude, I hated Eli Apple. I hated him on Cincinnati. It was one of the most obnoxious things I've ever seen in my life. Because he wasn't good. Nobody thought Eli Apple was remotely a good corner either. He was just, not good. give me like nightmares. He was like he's one of my least favorite Bengals, alongside like Perfect being up there, Hushmanzada being up there. Like, oh, Jeremy Hill also up there. Oh, least favorite Bengals. But in regards to the Browns, I mean, yeah, they're going to be young and intriguing with Shedeur. With the 49ers, I think they'll be in a playoff contention. I know they play them this week. And there's a chance the 49ers lose this game just because of the way the Cleveland Browns defense has been playing. And the way Brock Purdy played against Carolina didn't exactly invoke confidence. But I think San Francisco is going to be probably a playoff team. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders due to injury, due to the Brandon Ayuk saga to me in San Fran is also hilarious because this long overdue of we're not gonna pay him, we're not gonna pay him, then they pay him and then he's like now wants a trade. Like, dude, you haven't seen the field. Like, who's going to pay for a guy that might not even be able to play? Like, what is someone going to trade for that contract for a guy who hasn't played? Probably not a lot, if anything at all. So, what gives? What are we doing here? We haven't seen you play all year. Juwan Jennings has been filling your role, right? Ricky Pearsall's playing your role. Like, dude, not keeping it. Not so. I don't know. I have 49ers going into Cleveland and winning just because I think the difference in the Raiders versus the 49ers is a much larger skill gap. You're going to be in a tough sledding. Jets play the Falcons as well. That was the other game. Jets play Atlanta today. That game is Kirk Cousins versus Tyrod Taylor? Man, talk about a blast from the past. That's like a 2015. That actually happened. That was in 2015. I don't know if you remember when it was Tyrod on the Bills and Kirk Cousins on the then Redskins. So, and I think the Redskins won that game. Or like Deshaun Jackson just went off. I know Sammy Watkins had a big touchdown, but I don't know. I'm just 2015 nostalging right. Atlanta is Atlanta in number one pick content? No, they won. They beat the Saints. They're just mediocre. They're not even I'd say they're young and intriguing, but here's the problem: their young players aren't playing. Drake London's not playing. Michael Penix is out the rest of the year. Kyle Pitts is no longer young at this point. Like, Bijan's the best thing they got, and I like their defense, I guess, but Raheem Morris should probably get fired by the end of the year. I mean, it's brutal stuff. This is brutal. This is brutal to watch Atlanta. If Purdy has a bad game, does San Francisco switch tracks to Return of the Mac? Turn of the Mac, because Jones wasn't playing bad in Purdy's absence. Purdy would need to play really bad. I know he had 3 picks against Carolina. I do think there was just some timing. Like, there was one throw that was like, okay, that's just tough to anticipate. But he was definitely off on with those interceptions. I would say probably not, because I think Purdy gives a level to the offense that Mac doesn't. I think Mac is too statuesque in the pocket. Like, I don't think Mac moves around nearly as much as Purdy does. And I think as a result, for an offensive line that's not nearly as good as it used to be, I think having Purdy's athleticism and mobility is better in those situations. I think Purdy would have to play like atrocious. I think he'd need to be like a 2 of complete 5 of 25 kind of a game. It would have to be that kind of level of bad to consider Mac Jones. And I don't think Mac is bad. I think Mac will get probably another opportunity next year somewhere. There's a really good chance of that happening. But I mean, listen, I think what Mac will do is similar to what Daniel Jones did this year, is go somewhere where there's a quarterback competition, try to win the starting job. I think that's possible. But I think for the 49ers, I think with Brock, there is a certain level of the offense runs more efficient, does what it's supposed to do. When that's my and Jets versus Falcons is the game you watch if you hate life. Come on, you don't want to watch Kirk go get his chains back against the New York Jets. I agree. It's terrible. And also, there was recently things about the Jets with Jerry Jones that the Quinnen Williams move, when they trade Quinnen Williams, there was an option for Micah Parsons, right? Jerry offered Micah and a first round pick for Quinnen Williams. And here's the thing about that. I can't believe New York declined it. Like, I understand maybe they weren't going to pay Micah, but you basically just get another very good defensive player and you add a first-round pick. Right? So you move off of Quinnen's contract, right? You just pay Micah. I understand they had just paid, like at the time, they had probably just paid Sauce, or they just paid Garrett Wilson. Probably had just paid Sauce as well. But, I mean, looking at it, the Jets still have a lot of picks, but I mean, I don't care until the culture changes. You can have the entirety of the first round of draft picks, and I still won't say it's good enough until the culture changes. Like, Jets need to fix their culture. It's nightmare. As for the Giants, at least the Giants, they have young, exciting players. Like, Jackson Dart feels like a good quarterback, right? I think we could be excited for Jackson Dart if he figures out how to run without getting concussed. Malik Neighbors and Cam Scadaboo, if they can get back healthy and join the offense. Wan'Dale Robinson has had his moments, even as the wide receiver 1. So as a wide receiver 2, that should be interesting. And they still have some decent players on the offensive and defensive line. Like, they have those guys good on that side of the ball. They just got to fix some stuff in the secondary, probably add another weapon for Dart or another protector. But I think it very much could be a very exciting time for the New York Giants moving forward. Like, it's much better than the Jets. They're in a much better position right now. I would, they play New England. I think New England, I don't think they're favorites, but I definitely think they're contenders. I think they're more contenders than the Bears. I don't think they're frauds. And it pisses me off that they're not, because I kind of wish they were. But, because, I mean, you know what? I take this back. My opinion has changed. I think they're less fraudulent than Chicago. But I still think they have some issues in passing game and in rushing game. I don't know why they like Ramondre Stevenson so much. Makes no sense to me. Like I wouldn't doubt it. Like, just because Jameis is that funny and the Giants just fired their defense coordinator, I wouldn't doubt if the Giants find a way to upset New England on Monday Night Football. Just for old time's sake. Just for old time's sake, Jameis Winston does his thing against New England and gets a win. I think that would be pretty funny. Personally. For me. I would laugh at that. And I'd say that's funny. But we'll see. I mean, they don't have like a particularly challenging schedule remotely. Or don't. They don't have a particular. It's what? Miami's probably still on there. I guess they have Baltimore, but they have they're going to get their bye after this week. Then they get the Bills coming off the bye at home. They'll get Baltimore, and then they have Jets Dolphins. Like, it's really hard to see where they're gonna screw this up. The only way I feel is if they lost this game. They would need to lose to the Giants today for that to be the case. Or at least to screw up winning the division. I gotta be honest. I mean, New England looks to the 1 seed. I just don't know if maybe they are legitimate and Super Bowl contenders. I still have my doubts just because I don't know why they love Ramondre Stevenson so much. They need to be using Travion Henderson, and it's not arguable. They need to get him more involved. When he does, they're looking good. Like, that's the truth. Who else do we have? Go through. Or not week 12, 13. Ooh, Rams. Let's talk Rams. Rams, that to me is the favorite right now. Because I feel like they are the most complete team. They have probably the MVP. Okay, here's another thing. I gotta say this. Look, I know people want to say Jonathan Taylor should win MVP. And I'm not saying those people are wrong, but I'm saying you're wrong. The understanding, and listen, Jonathan Taylor's having a great season. No one's denying that. But what Matt Stafford provides to the Rams is literally not, there's no comparison. Like, if Matt Stafford, and I think what's interesting for me at least, as good as Jonathan Taylor is, I think there are times where he can play well and they still, right? Or he can play well and they or play poorly and they can still. Matt Stafford plays a poor game. Like, Jonathan Taylor can play not as great. Whereas I feel like if Matt Stafford plays poorly, it's a guaranteed loss. Because as good as the Rams are, I don't think there's many quarterbacks that can just go in and do what he's doing. And I think at a certain point, to me, I'd like to see Matt Stafford get the MVP solely for the fact you can have the discussion who's better, Stafford or Rodgers. Because now all of a sudden that debate becomes a little bit more interesting because then you would have Stafford winning a Super Bowl already. You would have an MVP. I think Rodgers would still have the title of he's better overall, but I think it brings an interesting question of what if Stafford was with the Rams, was with a competent organization as well. Like, what if Stafford and Rodgers switch places? Does Stafford is Stafford that guy in Green Bay more so than Aaron is? Maybe. But I would like to see Stafford go and get another ring, personally. Because then I think I would look, because if he gets an MVP and another ring, then you have conversations of, whoa, Stafford's really good. Like, Stafford's going to be up there, and he's always been criminally underrated to me for how long he played in Detroit. I think he's pretty cool. That's all. Again, like I said earlier in the show, don't ever compare Jalen Hurts. He's so much better. I know you could say it sounds like Glaze. I 100% disagree. One is clearly better than the other. I got no business. No time trying to think about the ways that they play Carolina on the road. That could be a trap game just because of the travel distance. But I think the Rams should beat Carolina. And honestly, I think Carolina is also mediocre. Because, listen, Bryce Young does not play well against anybody that is not the Atlanta Falcons. Just not possible. You can't get Bryce Young playing well against any other opponent. He's tried. He tries really hard. But he just doesn't play well against most other teams. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Marcus, I agree with you on Stafford to an extent, but him and Calvin in Detroit was special to watch. And that's the other. It was some insane stuff. Calvin Johnson was making catches in triple coverage on Cincinnati. Like, I remember that triple. It was a triple coverage catch, Cincinnati Bengals for a touchdown. It was insane. The other thing with that is Stafford is part of a bunch of great receiver seasons. Megatron has the record, right? Then you have him with Cooper Kupp in their run to the Super Bowl. Then you had him with Puka Nacua as a rookie, right? He's been the quarterback for a lot of these great all-time receiver seasons. It's like, well, that can't merely be by coincidence. I don't think it is. I think you got to give some credit to the quarterback on that end as well, and that's incredibly impressive. And then the other thing, for me at least, and now the interesting thing is we got one guy who could break the record with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and his quarterback is Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold goated? What? Is Sam going to get a Super Bowl? Oh, probably not. But it's cool to see at least. I can't with Bryce though. I don't think Bryce is going to be part of any great receiver season. I gotta be honest. I'm sorry, Bryce. I want you to be good, but you're too small. You're too small and you're too inconsistent. You need to be consistent. You can't just play Atlanta each week. It doesn't work. Other teams. Steelers, Bills. Just put the entire AFC. The AFC North doesn't deserve to make playoffs this year. I'm gonna be honest. Bills, I feel like are still contenders despite what's going on, and the reason why is just because I think they're more positioned to overcome issues that arise than a team like, say, New England or Chicago that I would consider fraudulent. It's just, if you're looking at Buffalo, you're looking at Josh Allen. Josh Allen needs to win 4 games and just be electric. We've seen it before. It just comes down to, is the defense going to make a stop? And the question is, will Sean McDermott do that? I don't know. I hope so. Not a guarantee, though. I don't know. I think the Bills just feel more like a team that's prepared for the first Super Bowl run than any of these other teams that are still new. Marcus says, fun fact, and this shows Calvin retired at a young age, his teammate on Georgia Tech, the one and only Roman Reigns. Oh. Dude, what a pull there, Marcus. You know what? little Roman Reigns action. Oh, here's the thing. I mean, well, yeah, Calvin was 30 when he retired. He retired in 2015. And that was a shock too. Most people were like, "Man, we're gonna see Megatron for years to come," and then boom. It's so heartbreaking for Detroit. Like Stafford, even I think at one point I think at one point there was an argument that Stafford may have retired early if he wasn't moved out of Detroit. I remember that was a rumor that was circling 2 years after Megatron. No, can't strip us of this man. And then Jay saying Price gives that Kyler Murray 100. Yeah, and Kyler Murray is listen. And the Kyler Murray, at least Kyler Murray. Well, the thing is with Kyler, I think Kyler is a little bit more talented with arm strength, and like when I see him throw, when he throws a pretty ball, I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty ball. But then like I'll see him in the pocket, like he'll just collapse in the pocket a lot of the time. Like why are you just falling over? Like you got to be able to maneuver the pocket a little bit better than this, right? It's just ridiculous. Like and then speaking of which, that's another team that's going into mediocre at best as well, because like they're not even young. Like their most intriguing players are like McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like Buddha on the defense. Buddha's not considered young. And the reality is Jonathan Gannon probably gone after. Like I don't see a world in which he's not. Calvin was carrying fantasy teams for a bit. His stats on a team but couldn't win. Crazy. Dude, there was what year did I it wasn't in 2013 I didn't have Calvin. I believe I had like a crazy stack 2013. It was like Jamal Charles. I had Jamal Charles, Peyton Manning, and like Jimmy Graham in 2013 year. It was feeding time. Ridiculous. It was nutty, dude. I think I had Did I have I don't remember who my receivers were that year though. But those was like the main three, and I was like, yeah, I don't need anyone else. It was fun. It was a fun fantasy year. I don't remember if I won though. Moving along, Arizona. Who's Arizona play? I can recognize. Oh, Bucks. They play the Bucks. Bucks are like, I'm gonna say, I mean they're a playoff team, but they've cooled off a lot since their hot start. I think maybe the injuries just have piled up and been too much, but man, after a rapid fire start to the season, it has been a significant slowdown for Tampa. And I mean, listen, this division's not going to be decided until like week 16, 17, 18, play Carolina, but week 16 and 18 play the Panthers. But I mean, if I'm Tampa, I would have thought, I mean, where's Emeka Egbuka? He's been a big part of this offense for like the majority of this run, and yet we just haven't been able to see him enough. I think Tampa's probably going to go in and beat Arizona, but Tampa needs to lock in and focus up if they want to not see Carolina snatch this division. And frankly, I'd rather see Tampa in the playoffs than Carolina because I just don't believe in Bryce Young. I'm sorry. I believe in Dave Canales. Dave Canales has turned it around, but I do not believe in Bryce Young as the quarterback there. It's brutal stuff to watch. I'd rather watch Baker. Saints Dolphins. Get them. Get them. Now here's the thing that's funny. I don't even think Miami can compete for the number 1 overall pick just because somehow, some way. You know what's crazy? How does McDaniel have a job and it's week 13? Isn't that kind of nuts? Like, Mike McDaniel has a job still in week 13 of the NFL season with the start that this team had. Absurd stuff going on. How is he still having a job? Like, I think the Saints, listen, they're starting Tyler Shuck. They could be competing for a number 1 pick, but how is it? Like, these two teams play. Like, this is the toilet bowl this week, guys. This is the awful matchup that we're subjected to. We're going to have to watch Saints Dolphins. For what? For me to lose my freaking mind? Thanks. Oh, just ridiculous stuff. What else is playing? I got to loop my mind in. I mean, can we also, Miami, move off Tua? It's done. Okay, it is over. The Tua era was barely anything. It's done. It's time. Let's end it. Let's end it. Let's end it now. Ooh, Texans Colts. I think they're playing. Yeah, I think Texans are probably going to miss the playoffs just because I don't think the offense is good enough. Indy, though, yeah, playoff, but I don't know, man. There just don't feel like many Super Bowl contenders. As crazy as it is, I feel like everybody feels kind of fraudulent. Everyone's in a position where they don't, because like right now the Colts, yeah, wicked hot start, but just lately not good enough. I feel that there's like an issue there. I feel like Daniel Jones is not playing at the level that he should be. for them to be consistently win football games. I don't know. I think this will be telling. If Houston finds a way to beat Indy, then all of a sudden the AFC South goes absolutely bonkers. And especially considering Indianapolis has a very tough schedule moving forward, where Jacksonville and Houston have lighter schedules. Like, the AFC South is all of a sudden going to get really intriguing down the stretch if Houston can go into Indy and win. It's going to be crazy. And there he is, the man of the hour, Tua. What is up, my guy? Me Tua, me brain hurt, me sit out and become water boy. Just do it. Just play linebacker. Or you know what? Tua, you need to be like I guess water boy's the best I can do for you. I don't know. I'm worried that might be difficult. That's what I'm concerned about. Jay McDaniel has a job, but a security guard eating turkey don't make it make sense. That's what I'm saying, dude. Mike, this is malpractice. This is coaching malpractice. It's insane to me that this man is employed by the Miami Dolphins still. Unreal behavior. I just can't not see it. It's ridiculous. Ooh, another number one pick contender, though. Bad. You know what? Maybe, no Chip Kelly. Raiders offense watchable? Is it going to happen? Is it possible that the Raiders offense could be good? Is it possible that they actually use Brock Bowers in more than, like, garbage time? Maybe. I don't know. There's only one way to find out. And seriously, because I would. This is the type of game, like Taff has this saying where it's what's it called? Woodward and the Gate community syndrome. That might happen to Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty might pop off. Brock Bowers might pop off. It could happen. I hope it does. I need Brock Bowers to do more than what he did last week. For me to have any chance. Like I need that. I need that in my life. Let's see. What else are we looking at here? Who do the Raiders play? Oh, is it the Chargers? Oh, yeah, they do play the Chargers. Chargers also feel a little fraudulent, right? Like, they're a playoff team, but I don't buy in because their offensive line's not fully healthy. It's never fully healthy. They're never fully healthy, man. It's like, what if? What if the Chargers were fully healthy? If, man, Justin Herbert himself. Dude, you're an NFL quarterback. Come on. You gotta be putting the team on your back a little bit. We'll see what they're able to do, but I think, listen, they play the Raiders, so you should be able to win, right? I mean, if you lose this game, then yeah, you're fraudulent as Big Newtons. I don't know. That's all I got for that one. I mean, geez, Louise, you can't be dropping games to the Raiders this week, no? And then Marcus, for the Raiders to be good, Al Davis is going to need to come back as a zombie. No way. Mr. Al Davis coming back as a zombie. Dude, he's gonna be out on the sidelines coaching. In order for the Raiders to be good, they're gonna need a lot, so much to. I mean, it's called the black hole for a reason. It's just nightmare to be that team. Be a fan of that team. I don't know how they do it. Really don't. Oh my goodness. Seattle, Minnesota. Man, I would have said Minnesota would have been young and intriguing maybe a few weeks ago, but now that it's just JJ McCarthy and their back. Well, actually, JJ doesn't play this week. He has a concussion. Young and intriguing. JJ doesn't play. Nine is not playing. 9 is inactive. Imagine the Vikings upset Seattle, though, like for real. Like, that's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, Seattle, playoff team. Like, yeah, they're a playoff team. You know, they could get it done. Honestly, I'm gonna change New England to a Super Bowl contender because I'm also thinking about putting Denver in there because I think it's. I mean, listen, they're the top seeds in the conference. I feel like there is to a certain extent they have to be just because Denver's defense is so good and Drake May is playing incredible football. I feel like at a certain point they just need to be in that conversation. It bugs me to put both of them in that conversation, but they have to be based on the seeding that they are. Although I do think this year's playoffs is probably going to be one of the best playoffs we've had in this. Just because there's so much unknown about. There's so much unknown about the team. Like they all feel kind of not super strong. It's gonna be one of the most interesting playoff seasons I've seen in a while. Like even Jaguars, like Yeah, they might. Like, Jacksonville feels the most fraudulent so much that I don't even feel like putting them playoff. No JJ, so Jefferson will go off in fantasy. I pray to the Lord that that's what happens because Justin Jefferson has been struggling for me. It's been such a painful pick to have Justin Jefferson in fantasy being my number one pick, and I am all the worse off for it. I should have gone somewhere else. I did not, and I think I wanted to go Gibbs originally, and I thought Gibbs would be available at 5, but Gibbs was not available at 5, and it upsets me. 9 in German is no Minnesota. Keep that in mind. No Minnesota. Wow. Maybe JJ just needs a new environment. Maybe he needs to go back to Michigan. Maybe he needs. Maybe he just needs that. He needs to go to. Maybe he'll play well with the Lions. Who knows? Oh, it's so bad. So nice. It's so ridiculous. I understand that he was probably the worst quarterback out of the 6th draft in that class, like as a prospect. But I did not expect him to be this atrocious. Like, he can't even game manage a game. It's that bad. Jacksonville's playing. Oh, Tennessee. How about you in the number 1 pick contention? Because that's where you are. I'd like to say they're young and intriguing, but the reality is they're just young. They're not intriguing. They're bad. They're a bad team. They played Seattle well. Cam Ward finally looked better. They're still looking on the fast track to the number 1 pick. And then Washington. Oh, poor Washington. It's the fall off of the Washington. Like, that defense aged overnight. Like, imagine, like, you left out, like, a rotted banana, and, like, you know how, like, they'll time-lapse a banana, like, over-ripening, and then it just, like, instantly dissolves at a certain point? Like, that's what it feels like the Commanders have done. They've just completely and utterly been mediocre and bad. And I believe they play on Sunday night against Denver. So it'd be Jaden Daniels versus Bo Nix. Oh, my gosh. I actually... No, I don't think... I take it back. Jaden Daniels is not playing. It should still be Marcus Mariota. But my gosh. It could have been a great matchup if these teams were good at this point in the season. But they're not. They're bad. They're not good. They're bad. They're bad teams. I mean, it is atrocious. It's bad. It's not good. It's not good. I got nothing for you. Jefferson was a waste for me. Taylor has carried me to playoff after being ranked 8th after the draft and a 10-team league. That's all you need to know about the quarterback situation. Yeah, I mean, I have what? My playoff chances at the moment I got 3 leagues. I'm projected to win, but only 52%. I have a 24% chance. It went up from yesterday. At 21. A 24% chance. The 2 teams ahead of me are 6-6. I am 5-7. I would need the one with less points to lose, and so then I would need to win. And I think I get I'm in the playoff picture at that point. There's another league that I'm just the 1 seed because it's like an 8-man league. It's pretty easy to go with. Oh crap! I just realized something. Week 14 is part of the playoff picture for this 8-man, and I'm just realizing I have Christian McCaffrey in it, and I'm going to be on bye. Oh no. Wait, yeah, it is. What? That's so ridiculous. That's messed up. I think I have Kittle too. Oh, what? Dude, okay, it's an 8-man, so I'll still have like Josh Jacobs to make up for McCaffrey not being there. I have Dallas Goedert as my backup tight end. Okay, that's not too bad. I can make this work. I'll be able to make it work. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. It'll be okay. Although it is ridiculous that in 8-man's the playoffs start a week early. And then in the D&E league, I don't know how I'm not out of the playoff race. I mean, I have only a 22% chance, but you know, I'm trying. This team was brutal. Like, I remember I had drafted Travis Hunter. It was an awful pick. I do still have McCaffrey though, but I think that's probably gonna end me come next week when he's by. Gosh, man, Brandon Knight. Oh, do I start Brandon Knight over Woody Marks? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a power play. Brandon Knight, you're getting the start. Set my lineups. someone going to be using the waiver wire every time, dude. I got no choice. I've been using the waiver wire all year, and it's not treated me well. I have not been able to get decent wire pickups in the majority of my leagues. I mean, I did. No, yeah, wow. It's mostly just who I drafted in this one for waiver wire pickups here, and there wasn't never really a need, but that's besides the point. Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been, holy crap, how long has it been? Oh my gosh, an hour and 18 minutes. A little longer pregame show today, but games are kicking off in 10 minutes. I gotta make myself some snacks and all that so I can enjoy the games today. Oh man, I am hoping the Steelers. I mean, I don't even know. Do I want the Steelers beating the Bills? Because I really don't want New England winning. It's probably so likely. I don't know. Let's go beat the Bills. Let's find a way to somehow beat the Bills for no real reason to get my hopes up, and then just not be good the rest of the year. That's what I'm guessing. But I mean, Bills are coming off a loss too. I have a feeling that they're going to come in and get annoyed. But they are missing both their starting tackles. Pittsburgh may have a chance. But outside of that, that is all I have for this hour and 20 minutes. I hope y'all enjoy your Sunday of football. I will be back here tomorrow. I will be back here going over what happened the entirety of tomorrow, around probably 7 o'clock. That's my game plan. Thank you guys for watching. If you are, of course, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, all the buttons. Just spam press them. I always appreciate you guys showing up. It means a lot to me. And I continue to watch the games. I will see you guys tomorrow after those games. For the rest of your day, I'm gonna go eat some food. Have a good one, gentlemen. I will see y'all next time.